afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to our next event for Community College Week. We're on day 3, and for this event, we are highlighting our American Sign Language Interpreting Program, and then I will also show a video about our foreign languages following that, so you have a little bit more information about that. If you're following us on Facebook right now, you can post any questions you might have in the comments section. If you're in with the meeting with us, you can post it in the chat. Or unmute yourself after the presentation. I know Leslie has some interactive things to do as well. So I'm going to hand it over to her. This is Ms. Leslie Knowles, Program Director for American Sign Language.
Hi, everybody. As Nikki said, I am a Program Director for the American Sign Language Studies program here at Delgado in New Orleans. I have a PowerPoint, so do I need to host or anything? Oh, I can share my screen, okay. I should know how to do that, right? Considering I do it almost every day. Alrighty. I just want to tell you a little bit about our program. Here's our address, here's our contact information. We are at City Park campus in New Orleans. Right now we are not there on campus, strictly on campus, but we are around, hopefully in the fall. We are under the Division of Communication, and when you graduate from our program, you get an Associate of Arts degree in American Sign Language Interpreting. Although the studies is the program, the interpreting is the degree. Interpreting is when 2 or more people get together and they can't communicate, and so they put an interpreter there, and we mediate between the deaf consumer and the hearing consumer, or the participants. Deaf people can be anywhere that hearing people can. And if there's a time that they can't communicate, then that's where we are brought in as interpreters. Our ASL studies faculty and staff, we have 2 full-time faculty, myself. The other instructor is Arthene Powers, not Vix Powers. She, in non-COVID time, she is between the West Bank and City Park campus. She teaches on both campuses. We have 2 adjunct faculty, Gary and Les, who are both certified interpreters and also interpret at Delgado and in the community. And then we do have an ASL lab, and our lab assistant is Esther McAllister, and he is deaf. So we have a really good connection with the deaf community and with the interpreting community. Our program was established in 1976. We've been around a long time. Currently, we are the only academic program in Louisiana. Baton Rouge Community College is looking to set up one in the fall. They're going to start offering classes, I think. In our classes, you receive instruction in ASL and interpreting. We have an ASL linguistics course every semester that you take, ASL 1, 2, 3, and 4. We have finger spelling and numbers. We have a deaf culture class. We have translations class, intro to interpreting. And then in the last 2 semesters, these 2 semesters, you focus on interpreting skills, one from English where you're hearing it into ASL, and the other skill is working, excuse me, from ASL where you're watching somebody deaf sign and then interpreting that into spoken English. Currently, we have about 65 majors. We graduated 15 last year. We're going to graduate anywhere between 6 and 8 this semester. Our class sizes are relatively small, anywhere from 15 to 20 students, so that you really get that one-on-one communication and that one-on-one feedback with your instructors and with your other student and with the other students. Excuse me. Most of our courses are conducted in ASL, which means we're signing from day 1, even in ASL 1. We may use voice for clarification in case somebody's just like really confused, or we feel that it's not coming across in our sign language. We have performance assessments in every class. So it's not just sitting back and opening a book and learning a sign for table and a sign for cup and a sign for couch and a sign for TV. You learn how to communicate, and we assess those by you video recording yourself, sending it in to us, and then we give you feedback on your performance, meaning interpreting, or meaning signing or interpreting. We use Canvas Some schools use Blackboard or Moodle, but we strictly use Canvas. We also this year started using a program called Go React, which allows us to provide even more detailed feedback that is time-stamped. So you send us a video at 41 seconds, you did the handshake wrong for a sign, okay? Like I said, we do have an ASL lab with a lab assistant that is open Mondays through Thursdays, 11 to 4 in the afternoon. What we've done this semester is we've opened it up on Zoom, and students are able to even excuse me, not be on campus, they can still work with Esther and get the support and help that they need. They make an appointment, they show up, they do their thing, and they can do that throughout the semester. Every semester also in our classes, you have to do field work in what we're going to be calling professional development, which means going out of the classroom and meeting deaf people, going out of the classroom and meeting interpreters. You have to do different total number of hours each semester. The first semester is 10 hours, then it's 15, then it's 20, and then it's 60 for the capstone course, which is ASL Interpreting Practicum. So that by the time you're out in the field, you have about 100 hours. Deaf people know you, you know deaf people, interpreters know you, and you know interpreters, so that it's not just graduation, have a nice life, get out. We actually try to bridge that gap, that school to work gap, so that you do have contacts when you get out and get ready to work. And that is that's one of our goals in this program, is to get you out there, get you working. That's what we want. We want you to get out there and get working with mentors, with the support that you need out in the community to develop your skills. Also in the program, you will develop an e-portfolio. This is kind of what it can look like. There's 4 sections on the left-hand side where you put all your syllabi for your classes. You can post all your videos so that you can show a your progression as you develop through the program. Plus, when you leave, you're able to zip file all of that information and take it with you, so that if you go to a 4-year college, that you can present this information. It's like, here's a copy of my work. Like I said, you put your videos in there, you can put your tests in there, your field work that you have to go out, the professional development, verifying that this is what I did, this is how I felt about it. We're doing vlogs, which is signing journals this semester, which I'm very excited about. Let's see what else, the portfolio. So that's really helpful when it comes out. Like I said, when you leave here, you have all of that information and you're not trying to scramble, trying to find some information. I need a syllabus from ASL, from fingerspelling. Leslie, do you have one? It's like, it's in your e-portfolio. A little bit about the ASL program. ASLS 101, which is ASL 1, does count as a general education humanities requirement. So for any program on campus, you can take ASL 1 as that humanities credit. We do have classes at City Park and West Bank, and we have been virtual live with all of our classes this past spring, fall, and then this spring as well, which means we meet at certain times of the day. And so you Zoom in, do your class, and then you leave. ASL 1 does count as a foreign language requirement at most 4-year colleges. Sometimes you have to contact me later going, hey, Leslie, do you have a letter? And that's like, I have a letter of best practices, and I'm happy to send that off to people so that they can get their ASL credits accepted as their foreign language requirement at another community, at another 4-year college. All of our upper level courses and classes are offered Tuesdays and Thursdays in block times, which means you come in as a cohort, okay? So you have 4 semesters. The earliest class you have would be fingerspelling, which is Tuesday, Thursdays, 12:30 to 1:45. Then right after that, you would take ASL 2 from 2 to 3:15. And then we have another class that you would take that semester, deaf culture class, that is an online class. We do that so that students, once we get them on campus, they stay on campus. Since Delgado is a commuter college, we have to take advantage of students when they're there. We don't want students to have to come Wednesday morning at 8 and Thursday afternoon at 4. Once we get you there, we want to keep you there and give you all that exposure to ASL. Or like I said, the earliest class you would have would be fingerspelling at 12:30. The latest class in these last 2 semesters, you go from 2 in the afternoon until 7 in the evening, and you have 3 classes back to back to back. It sometimes gets a little overwhelming, but the classes are so different and the instructors are different that you focus on this class for an hour and 15 minutes, then do another skill for an hour and 15 minutes, and then another skill for an hour and 15 minutes. And that really seems to work well, especially for people who work outside, who work or have families or have a life, so that they know if you come in today and say, I want to be an ASL major, I can tell you in the spring in 2 years, this is what time the courses are going to be offered. So that really helps students coming into the program to organize their life. So if they have to work Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, they can do that. And then they come to school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and that really helps. Okay, what can you do when you get out of here? You can work with a diverse population. Okay, anywhere hearing people are, deaf people are. You can work in low risk settings, such as a general medical checkup or a vocational rehabilitation, like hearing test. You can work for local referral agencies. They may have a screening process that you have to go through, but that is their thing. They want to make sure that they send you out on the right kind of an assignment. They don't want to put you in a mental health assignment if you're just out of school, because you don't have the skills yet, you don't have the confidence, you don't have all of the skills that you need to be able to work in a specific setting like mental health. And also they would provide mentors. They're not just going to say, okay, go do this. And hopefully you would have a mentor that went with you and that they could bring you along into the profession. Upon graduation, you can also transfer to 4-year colleges. We do have a 2+2 articulation agreement with the University of New Orleans in their interdisciplinary studies department, which means you take all of your ASL courses at Delgado, you transfer to UNO and get the interdisciplinary studies degree, and that is more of a general studies degree, liberal arts, general studies. So we kind of work backwards here, is that you take all of your major courses at Delgado and then your more gen eds at the 4-year colleges. There are colleges who offer advanced interpreter training, and William Woods University is one of them in Fulton, Missouri. A lot of our students transfer there if they want advanced degrees in interpreting. Troy University has an interpreting program, as well as the University of Northern Florida. All of those require an associate's degree before you can join their program. But they have all taken our students, and the students have done very well with that. So certification, that's another one of our goals, is to get you beginning the certification process, the national process. There's a new test that will be, I think, beginning, I don't know if they're offering it right now. They're in the stages. I think they're in the final stages of it. It's called the CASLI test, CACASLI, Center for Assessment of Sign Language Interpretation. So once you're out of Delgado, I encourage students to take that knowledge test to kind of purge all that book stuff out of their head. And so when they get done with that knowledge, so when you graduate from Delgado, you have a degree, you pass the knowledge portion, that makes you marketable to those referral agencies. It's like, I have a degree and I've passed the written test. So I'm ready to get out into the world to actually start interpreting. For the test, we have a 90 to 95 cent pass rate first time through. So Delgado students, they graduate, they take the test and they pass. There's been a few that haven't passed but that's because they changed the answers. I tell them not to change their answers, but we do have a very high success rate of students passing these tests first time through. So I'm very proud of that. Questions for the group? Are you a high school student looking to come to Delgado? That would be awesome. We're trying to recruit high school students. We do have a dual enrollment program. If you've taken any ASL community classes, then definitely that's something that we can look at. If you have some ASL background, then you and I could meet and we could do an assessment and get you that college credit on your transcripts. So if you've taken ASL Community College either at School for the Deaf or somewhere else, if you're a high school student who's taken ASL courses, then you might not have to take ASL 1. I would assess you going, you're fine, you'd be fine in ASL 2, so that then we do the proper paperwork, which is called a credit exam, to get that grade on your transcripts. And then if you're out there working as an interpreter and you need some kind of academic credentials, come and take a class, come and see us. So that's where we are. I mean, if you fall into any of these and you're interested in ASL or in the ASL program, please contact me. Speaking of, here's my contact information. The best way to get in contact with me is through email, and I'm pretty good at responding. Sometimes, like today, I've gotten a couple. It's like, where did these emails come from? But that's me, lknowl@dcc.edu. So if you have any questions, any concerns, I'm usually available all during the day. If you want to Zoom and meet with me, I've done that 3 times already this morning. And so it makes it really easy that students can ask questions, and it's a one-on-one situation. So I'm going to stop sharing. Okay, Deshaun, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. How you doing, ma'am?
Good, good, good. I've met Deshaun a couple times. Lexi, are you there? How are y'all doing today? What? Deshaun, tell me a little bit about your interest. And I know I have, but other people.
I was doing a little ASL kind of like with Dr. Daniel Birch, and so I took the EIPA test with Miss Barber. She proctored it. I made a 3.3. I took it twice, and I took it 3 times. The first 2 times I made a 3.3. The second time I made a 3.0. I passed the written test on my second chance. It's just I had just like really fell off. So I'm like my English, besides from sign language, is real little off. So I've been working on English, meaning my regular finger spelling with my own language. I think that's the only problem I have with sign language. Other than that, I think I sign pretty good. I understand probably about a little more than 50%. It's just getting my spelling up, as far as names, places, stuff like that. Yeah, that's all. I just want to just kind of like upgrade my education. I've been working with Dr. Anthony Ambrosia, just following him around and communicate with Miss Connie when she able to do it over Zoom. So that's what I've been doing. I'm going to Miss Barber Church faithfully.
Well, he said something about the EIPA. That's the Educational Interpreter Performance Assessment, which it's recognized in the schools. In the schools in Louisiana, you have to have a 3 point, I can't remember if it's 3.0 or 3.5 in order to work in the schools. However, that's very district specific, and some of those districts don't follow that. But coming into that with already skills, and you just want to get that degree, get that academic credential, makes you more marketable. I have the EIPA and I have an academic degree. That is definitely going to make you more marketable. And you and I have talked, and so I'm looking forward to having you in classes.
Yes, but one more question. So you said the sign language classes, what time?
They're Tuesdays and Thursdays, anywhere from 12:30 to 7.
All right, so nothing after 5, really.
Well, 5:30 to 6:45 on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Okay, yeah, that's what I need.
12:30 to 7, somewhere around in there.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
We're done at 6:45.
All right, okay.
But it's only Tuesdays and Thursdays, 2 days a week.
Yeah, that's good. I just need it because I work from 9 to 5 in the law office, so I just need something kind of like after 5 or around about that 4-ish
We can get together and talk about that. And usually if employers know you're trying to go back to school and better yourself, that they will, I have a letter that I send that these classes are only offered at these times, and this is only going to better your career with their organization. And so can you please give them the time off? So I've done that a couple times, and most employers are very, it's like, yes, please. I want my people to be educated, and I want them to have the degrees.
Thank
So,
you.
Kristen, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are y'all?
Good. How did you get interested in ASL?
So I think of myself as a pretty intermediate signer. I took 2 years in high school, a year and a half in college. I've had 2 deaf partners in my personal life. So I learned more, I think, in those relationships than I did ever in any classes.
Sure, that's total immersion, absolutely.
Right. One of my best friends currently right now is a deaf person. So I sign often, but it's very informal, and I sign in a very like conversational person to person way, in a way that's comfortable. So I think what I'm looking for is adding that structure of being able to do it in professional settings and professional spaces to get some of those credentials. I am from the Pacific Northwest. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I just moved to New Orleans in November. I am an organizing director with the New Orleans Workers Center for Racial Justice. And I'm hoping to bring some campaigns down here that work with specifically the deaf and POC communities that are within New Orleans, which is what I'm finding is quite a bit of folks.
Yes, it is.
And I'm hoping to do like a workers' rights advocacy through my organization that includes deaf community members. So I think some of that more formal training, getting some credentials that I never finished when I was in Portland, and also as a way to just like brush up on skills, meet community members down here that would be impacted and that I could work with. And it's COVID. And so like, why not take advantage of being able to like get those credentials and do that at home? And I have the time and the financial ability. And so, yeah.
Awesome. Well, a lot of interpreters are working from home. They have a studio in their house and they do VRS, video relay service.
Mm-hmm.
And so the equipment's set up and they can do it from home. That's been, really helpful to keep the deaf community connected to the world. So, oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited. So I was like, when I got an email, because I've been watching and asking if I wanted to register for this. And I was like, yeah, I'm actually like in a Zoom meeting trying to do both. But my work schedule is super flexible. I kind of have the liberty of moving my own schedule around depending on like what my commitments are. So that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, and I'm just hoping to get started as soon as possible and to jump into some like refresher and some new learning.
That's awesome. So please contact me and we can set up a meeting. And what I usually do when I meet with students, we have a degree plan and I work that around your schedule and it's like, these are the classes you need to take. This is the order you need to take them in. If you have, we definitely want to do a couple of assessments to make sure that we don't put you into ASL 1 if you have those conversational skills. And so I'm not averse to doing credit exams. I want to get people where they fit, and so that they're not bored. That it is a challenge, and I think both of you have extremely lofty goals and have done what you need to do to get here. So we're excited to help get you done and get you those credentials. I'm all about credentials. It's like I'm one of those people. I want all that stuff behind my name. I want this, and I want this letter, and I want this group of letters, and I want this group of letters.
I love it.
Well, yeah,
I love it.
Those mean something, and they do show progress and your commitment to the profession, to better yourselves, and to be of better service to the communities at large, deaf and hearing communities.
Yes.
Y'all have any questions for me other than, please?
Well, you answered all my questions, so I'm just excited and ready to dive into it. And so how would I get like my paperwork to you for it with the EIPA scores and all the different tests I took?
Once, because you and I have talked about this, once we're back in school, or
Mhm.
you can email it to me once you started taking the ASL courses, you
Mhm.
have to be at school for at least one semester before we do any credit exams. That again shows commitment. So I may say, oh yeah, you're okay, I'm going to override you into ASL 2 or ASL 3 or whatever, but we want you to commit to at least one semester before we get the proper paperwork. But once we do, then I can meet with the registrar and find out exactly how we can do this. There's a couple classes I'm thinking. Lexi, there's a couple of classes I'm thinking about you as well to do that credit exam so that you don't start at ASL 1 or ASL 2. So those are definitely something that we need to work on, but I need to meet with you first to make sure that that you get into the right class and that you're not, like I said, that you're not bored.
Right, sound
Totally.
good.
Yeah, totally. I think for me, it's like sentence structure that I need to really work on. Like that's my big thing. Like I heavily use sign English, right? Which is like just word for word, verbatim, like signing, because that's how I've done it in personal space. So for me, it's like I have like a plethora and wealth of sign knowledge, and I'm conversational, but only like one-on-one or in like a social group setting, or like I've interpreted drag shows, you know, like stuff like that. Like that's fun and like doesn't have any like stakes attached to it, right?
They're low risk.
Exactly.
Nikki, who is our host today, also graduated from our program. So she
Mhm.
has a degree.
I also interpreted a drag show once for my field work hours.
I love it. I love it. I'm here for all the fun things. I also think it's super important because like I found it hard to not be in spaces that are all fun like that, especially because like I'm a very tattooed person and my hands are tattooed, which comes like into a whole other thing when it comes to sign language interpreting, right? Oh yeah. Yeah. And it's like hard for people to see and understand what you're saying. So I don't know. I thought that it would be fun and a good opportunity for me to get some credentials and brush up on some skills.
I think that we are here for you.
Perfect. I will send you an email. I
Yeah,
have to jump off and get back into my other Zoom meeting, but I will send you an email right when I get off the call.
Thank you.
Bye.
John, do you have any other questions or comments or anything?
No, ma'am, you answered all mine, and really appreciate y'all time and the knowledge y'all just gave me. So that's really fun. I just send you an email when I get all my own classes and everything.
Perfect. And if you need any help in between that, please contact me and let me know.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And thank y'all for joining us on Facebook if you're watching with us today. I do have one quick video to show about our foreign languages that we have. We don't have a degree for them, but there are many foreign languages that you can take here. And if you're an English language learner, you can take those classes as well. So I'm going to share that brief video before we exit for today. Let me just share my screen. Let's see, where's my video? Had it pulled up. All right, there it is.
The Foreign Languages Department here at Delgado Community College welcomes you to Discover Delgado Days. As you think about attending college, you might wonder whether learning a foreign language like French or Spanish is a good idea. Well, there are several reasons it is. Learning a new language makes us smarter. French, in particular, is considered an analytical language, so it challenges us to become stronger critical thinkers. Many French speakers have shaped the fields of philosophy and science. Furthermore, because many French speakers have also significantly contributed to architecture, the culinary arts, fashion, film, music, and the performing arts, French is considered the language of culture. You've probably already heard that French is often called the language of love. This is due to its melodious and rich sounds. But aside from all of its fascinating cultural aspects, French is the third most common language used in international business and organizations, such as the United Nations, the European Union, UNESCO, NATO, Amnesty International, Doctors Without Borders, and the International Red Cross. Over 300 million people across all 5 continents speak French, and this includes the approximately 200,000 French speakers right here in Louisiana. Here at Delgado, we offer French 101 and French 102. French 101 introduces students to basic vocabulary and structures of the language. No prior knowledge of French is required to take this course. French 102 provides a continuation of an elementary study of the language. Courses are offered both face-to-face and online, and in 16-week and 8-week formats. Delgado also offers instruction in Spanish. Perhaps you've heard the terms Hispanic and Latino or Latina. Did you know that these terms actually have different meanings that are often the subject of debate? It's generally accepted that Hispanic refers to people with a Spanish-speaking background, while Latino or Latina, on the other hand, refers to those from the geographic region of Latin America. In recent years, the word Latinx has gained traction as a gender-neutral alternative to Latino and Latina. Aside from the term's different meanings, there are cultural similarities that tend to bring Spanish speakers' diverse backgrounds together. Religion plays an important role in this, as the majority of Hispanic and Latin Americans identify as Catholic or Protestant. Hispanic and Latin American culture have a strong sense of family values and tend to have large, close-knit families. In music and dance, the different styles and rhythms and performances unite Spanish speakers by their place of origin. And the food. We cannot leave the diverse cuisine out of the picture. It is spectacularly tasty and delicious. Spanish is also an international language, with 21 countries around the world claiming it as their official language. Over 470 million people worldwide, including right here in the United States, speak Spanish, making it the second most spoken language in the world. But it is also the second most used language on the internet, specifically Facebook, Twitter, and Wikipedia. As you can see, we offer a range of Spanish classes, from the beginning through intermediate levels. Spanish 101, which we offer face-to-face and online, requires no prior knowledge of the language and will introduce you to basic vocabulary and grammatical structures. Spanish 102, which is also offered both face-to-face and online, continues the elementary level of study and prepares students to take the intermediate level course, Spanish 201. Our intermediate courses, Spanish 201 and 202, are offered online only to allow students the flexibility of practicing the language at times that are convenient to your schedule. Spanish classes are offered year-round in both 16-week and 8-week formats. Many four-year universities require foreign language classes. So why not meet that requirement here at Delgado, where you'll save on cost and have the flexibility of choosing a class delivery format that fits your schedule. Learning Spanish or French will also increase opportunities in many professional fields, such as education, government, healthcare, hospitality, and tourism. Our mission as a department is to provide students like you with the opportunity to use French or Spanish for real-world purposes. As you can see, we also offer the opportunity to experience the different cultural aspects of the language. Learning a new language provides both professional and personal enrichment. It's your passport to a better future. Summer classes begin June 3rd, and fall classes begin August 14th. So why not register today? If you'd like assistance with registration, or if you have any questions about our French or Spanish course offerings, please don't hesitate to contact the department chair.
Awesome. So yeah, that's some good information about our foreign language classes that y'all can take here. Thank you again for joining us today at our Community College Week event. We have some more coming up later this week and later today. So please feel free to check out our website under Community College Week to see what those other events are. Leslie, thank you so much for presenting. We always appreciate it. Always appreciate your time, and hope everyone has a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Nikki.
Thanks.